Okay, our next step here is to make our assembly. So if you don't have an assembly tab, you can add one right here. You call it puzzle assembly. Puzzle assembly. Okay, and it might be worthwhile going back to your parts and renaming them. This one here, rename to be piece 1. Rename this one to be piece 2. And this one to be piece 3. Okay, and then obviously you're gonna have more pieces of that, but I'm just, for the example, that's what I've got. So the other thing we do is we made these offset variables, and we have one each in like the Part Studios. But we want to be able to reference that offset in our puzzle assembly here, and we want to be able to have the same value for all of them. And so we need like a global variable. And so what you can do is if you go to here, you can do the create variable studio. And we're going to create this global variable called offset. And we're going to set the value to 0.05. And we can change it later. And we got it's inserted into all the Part Studios and assemblies. So we're going to come back to piece 1. And we're going to delete this offset variable. Okay? Now if we just deleted that without having our variable studio, we'd get an error. But because we have that global offset variable, now it's going to apply to all of them. Okay? And so we could try changing it, right? Let's change this to be like 1 millimeter. And you go back and see now that we have offsets of 1 millimeter here, right? On all these, which is way too much, but you can see that it's here. So we're going to come back to it here. We're going to set it to 0.05 millimeters. Okay? And so what we're going to do is in our puzzle assembly, and I don't even know if my puzzle piece is going to work together, but what we're going to do is we're going to insert. Okay, so we're going to insert our 3 puzzle pieces, or your 5 or 8, or how many you got. And you're going to pick one. So out of puzzle pieces here, we're going to pick one that we're going to fasten to the origin. And so I'm just going to do a fasten mate. I'm going to grab this corner of this lower edge, so hold down shift and grab that. And then I'm going to attach that to the origin. Okay, and so that's done. And now I want to attach these other pieces. So I'm going to use the faces on them. And so we're going to attach this corner right there to hold shift, that corner right there. Now we've got to rotate it just like that. Okay? Now because of the offsets, let's look at this. If I measure this distance from here to there, it says it's 29.9 millimeters because we did not account for our offset. And so when we do this, we need to apply those offsets here. And so here we need to apply it in the X direction. And so we're just going to do hashtag offset or pound offset times 2 because it's applied to both sides. Okay? And now when I do that measurement, I'm getting, oh, still a little bit short, 29.8. Oh, I went the wrong way. So let's go ahead and set that to be negative. There you go. And I got that little gap there. And we're going to measure this. And we get 30 exact. Okay? And you can see all my darkly shaded faces are on the outside. The light shaded faces are on the inside. So now I'm going to do another fasten mate. We're going to use this corner now. Actually, I can use this one. That one, and hold down shift. Grab that one. And let's rotate it just like that. Okay. And so again, we can look here, and we can see that the offset gets applied in that direction. So we're good there. But it's not applied in this Z direction. And so we click from here to there. It's 29.5. Interesting. So I didn't make a mistake. on one of them because I didn't apply the offset to here. I don't think. So I need to apply the offset to there. There we go. 19.5. 19.5. Okay, that's really good. And now from here to there, yep, 29.9. And so I need to apply that offset. So if you're, oh, and mine is backwards too. I did the wrong one. So let me, need to fix this. So instead of using that one, I'm going to grab the one on the other side. There we go. Nope. There we go. Okay. So now my dark faces are on the outside still. Okay. And the distance here, though, is the 29.9. I got to add that offset. This time it's going to be in the y direction because you see that little y-axis right there. And so we're going to say offset times 2. Okay. And we've moved down, so it got too small now, so we're going to make it negative. And move that. Okay. And so now we check this. From there to there is 30. Okay. And now we go in and add the rest of our pieces here. You can see we have those little offsets. Should like all kind of line up there. Okay. And we'll finish off our assembly. Now I want to show you just one thing real quick. If we come back now to our variable studio, let's say I change this back to 1 millimeter, just for something really like massive. You can see that it applies those offsets, but my distances, because I did that correction, are still all 30 millimeters. Okay. Now if you do your fasten mates to the outside edges, you should only have to offset in one direction, like here. But if you're doing mating to interior edges, like here to there, for example, then you're going to have to do an offset in 2 directions. So let's just show that real quick. Let's say for this one instead, I used this one and that one. Okay? And so I have to add my offset here. So I got to get rid of this one because that one's wrong now. Okay? But I have to move up and to the right. So let me move the do the z-axis by offset times 2, and then make it negative, and then in the, looks like the x direction now. So we're going to say offset times 2, and there you go. They didn't have to make that one negative. Okay? And so it's a little bit easier just to do it to the outside edge because you don't have to do one offset. If you do the inside, you can fix it. It's helpful to adjust this to make it really big just to check to make sure everything looks right, and then you can change it back when you're done and have your puzzle look really nice. Okay? So there we do assemblies and offsets in our assemblies and our global offset variable. And so this is useful for kind of keeping track of variables across your whole project. Okay?